It's really interesting. As you know, if you've been following our strategic planning statewide conversations, we have a group of 200 people who represent the 64 SUNY campuses. They are faculty, staff, and students, and community representatives. And we've had three discussions. We began at Hudson Valley in Troy, in Albany, in the Capital District, and then we went to Buffalo. And now today we're at FIT in New York City. And I think we're learning how to talk with each other. There was a great deal of freedom of conversation, a lot of dynamism and enthusiasm, and maybe, just maybe, that's because our topic today was essentially how do the arts and culture contribute to the economic revitalization and enhanced quality of life of the state of New York, and what can SUNY do to expand the awareness and appreciation for arts and culture for all of New York. And I think it just set off a dynamic interaction that certainly engaged our students and our faculty and staff as well. Well, you know, we've been working around this concept that we could develop big, hairy, audacious goals. This acronym gets said as a BHAG. It's not all that flattering, but it makes the point that we really need to work on big ideas. And we had some huge ideas today. For instance, we don't communicate enough with each other about the arts and culture capacity on our various campuses. We don't know amongst our campuses what we have, and we need to do a better job of telling our communities the rich repertoire of arts and culture that is available on our campuses. Secondly, the idea was put forth that our students really need an affordable opportunity to meet the arts, to go to museums, to go to performances, to create art, to share art. We even had a suggestion today that we should have the world's largest art show by simultaneously on 64 campuses, displaying our art, selling our art, bringing our communities to our campuses, and then you'd get in a car or on the train and travel around to the state and see all this wonderful art. So I think the big aha is that this is a way where we can really operate as the SUNY family, as the SUNY community, and share not only our art and our culture, but learn more about ourselves and each other through arts and culture. So it was very provocative. You know, I have this feel that when our students speak, the room gets really hushed and quiet. As older adults, we're used to hearing each other talk all the time, and maybe we're not as respectful to each other as we should be, but I'm telling you, when a student rises, gets on his feet, comes to the podium, and she speaks, first of all, it's always worth listening to. And second, it typically takes us to a place we haven't been before. I cannot say enough about how much we appreciate our students being in the group of 200, and especially right now when people are preparing for exams, writing those final papers. These students are doing double duty, and I would be really worried about this, taking them away from their schoolwork at an important time, except that to a student, they come up to me after the session and say how delighted they are to be here, how important they feel their voice is, and how much they appreciate being listened to. And I think it's going to be really interesting when this plan comes forward in April. The fingerprints of our students are going to be all over this plan. Today, as with all of our statewide conversations, we invite someone of note, not necessarily just from New York, from around the country, to come and stimulate our dialogue. And we found just that person today for arts and culture in Thelma Goldman. She is the director of the Studio Museum in Harlem. And she brought a terrific message to us, not only about the crosswalk between the arts and culture, but the larger crosswalk of the arts and culture to the general education of our students and the leadership of our faculty. And she not only talked to us about what the arts mean, what culture means, but what could we do about it? She threw out to the team to the group of 200 concrete examples of what we could do with artists in residence, what we could do by sharing our space, sort of creating storefront museums in some spaces we might have on campus, how we could engage our community, and in fact how we could learn more about ourselves through the arts. I don't think we could have had a better external expert, and isn't it interesting? She's right here in Harlem doing her work, and today she was a real contributor to the SUNY dialogue.